Did you ever see those Family Guy episodes where he's like, you know what really grinds my gears? We're going to do one of those today.
Another thing that grinds my gears is when I can't find the droids I'm looking for.
Yeah, me too. What gives with that?
And that's what really grinds my gears.
Good morning, everybody. It's Allie. I'm on a fantabulous weight loss quest, and hopefully you'll subscribe. Come along for the ride, because I put out new videos every day. And today's Grind My Gears episode is going to be all the things that people say in support groups that absolutely make me bonkers. The first one is one that just happened this morning. So there was the original poster who was talking about how their doctor told them that they had to come off of their Tirzepatide, right, Mounjaro Zepbound, for a couple of weeks before their surgery, and then also to stay off of it a couple of weeks after surgery. So we're looking at least a month, assuming that a couple means two, right? So we're looking at least a month for this person to be off their medication. So they were asking, since I've been off the medication for so long, do I need to come back and start at a lower dose? To which I responded, yes, the best thing you can do is ask your doctor to give you, whatever step down, you were on. I think that this specific post, they said they were on 10. So just do one step down and start there and see where that takes you. There are many people who, once they are off the medication for 2 weeks or longer, if they try to go back to the same dose that they were on, they have extreme side effects. Now, it's not everybody. There are some people, especially those who are microdosing, who can take a dose once every month and be fine. But usually in those cases, those people are building up to that amount of time, right? They're not just overnight, like, I'm going to start taking this once a month, right? They start out with like 8 days and then 10 days and then 14 days and then, right? So they're slowly spacing it out. But if you just cold turkey quit, which is essentially what you're doing if you're off of the medication for 30 days, right? It comes out of your system. Then, getting back on it after a surgery or something like that, you could have severe side effects and end up in the ER. It's happened to a lot of people. So I made this comment, right, on this person's post because, of course, everybody in the comment section was like, oh yeah, you could just go back on your same dose, you'll be fine, right? Not taking into account that they're on 10 milligram, which is at the higher end of the doses, not taking into account how many weeks they've potentially been off of the medication per their doctor's advice, and also not taking into account what surgery they had because they didn't even say. So, of course, I made my comment, right? And I get a notification. Really, Kevin? I get a notification that I get a response and somebody says, not true. Now, there's something that you should know about me. If you are not going to take the time to have an intelligent conversation with me, if you're just going to flat out blanket discredit everything that I took the time to type out to the original poster, mind you, I wasn't even talking to this person, and you're just gonna fire back with not true, I am 1000% going to come back to that comment and slam you. Just slam you, because you didn't even take the time to write out what your thought was. Your response is just not true. I'm sorry, what part is not true? That they could end up in the ER? That it's happened to many other people? What part's not true? Which one? I don't know, because you didn't explain. But I did come back to that comment and slam the crap out of you, because if you are not going to take the time to have an intellectual conversation about it, I'm going to force you to stop making comments like that. Side note, I wasn't even talking to you, lady. I was talking to the original poster. It really just grinds my gears. You know what else grinds my gears? When I take the time to really type out an educated response to someone to help them and answer their question, especially when all of the advice on their post is terrible, just terrible. And then somebody responds to me and says, well, that's not correct. And then they give me some obvious chat GPT novel of a response that they've clearly copy and pasted to try to sound intelligent. And then, this is the kicker. If you actually read the chat GPT response, it says that I'm right. Didn't you just say that I was wrong? And my thoughtful answer that I typed out for this person who's asking a question, and all of the responses on their post are just terrible. And your thought is you're like, I'm gonna get this one. You're not right. That's not correct. And then I go to the chat GPT and copy and paste, and it proves exactly what I just said. That really grinds my gears. When I make a comment on somebody's post to try to help them, and I specifically state, because we're not allowed to, place links in a lot of these groups, right? Because they're concerned about people being scammers and stuff like that. So I will specifically state, hey, I'm a GLP1 advocate. Here is the name of the study, right, where it talks about this. In short, it says XYZ, right? Because I can't include a link to the study, but let's be honest, if people would just take 5 minutes out of their day, they could Google it. So I do that, and then I get some snarky response from people who want to disagree with me. On the last one that this happened, it was about injection sites making a difference as far as side effects go. And you always get those people that are like, no, it doesn't. There's no scientific proof. Yes, there is scientific proof. It's called Google, okay? All you have to do is Google it. And guess what? It'll bring up all the research studies. Like, come on. I was brought up back in the day where we had to look up stuff in an encyclopedia. An actual encyclopedia. You had to go to the library. You had to find the encyclopedias. You had to find the one. You better hope nobody else has it checked out. Then you had to look up the information and write it down to then copy it into your report. Nowadays, all you have to do is Google a question. It takes less than 2 seconds, depending on how fast you can type on your phone. People just baffle me. Anyway, so I'm saying, hey, I'm essentially saying, I've done the research. Here is the credential. I'm a GLP1 advocate. And people want to jump all over that and say, is that a job? Is that a job title? Do you get paid to do that? Does that mean you're a doctor? Where the fuck in my comment did I just say I'm a doctor? What? It just really grinds my gears. Another one that really, really gets me is when people are giving advice and trying to genuinely help someone, And then you get that person that says, you should really talk to your doctor. You know, these people should not be giving medical advice. It's a support group. We're offering support. Guess what? If doctors were as well educated on GLP-1s as even your most average Joe GLP-1 advocate, we wouldn't need support groups. How you like them apples?
Do you like apples?
Yeah.
Well, I got a number. How do you like them apples?
There would be no need for support groups if doctors were well educated on these medications. Now, am I saying that as a dig at doctors and providers? No, absolutely not. I've made perfectly clear on my channel multiple times, I don't bash doctors. They cannot possibly be expected to know everything about every single medication. They just can't. It's just not fair. And the more and more that these type of medications hit the market in the next 5 years, right, there's going to be even more for them to know. So it's just not feasible for them to know everything. Support groups are vital because there are many trends and lots of really great information that you can get anecdotally from a group of people. I've shown it just in some of the experiments and research that I've done just here on my channel and other creators as well. So, you know, it's just, you should really talk to your doctor. It just grinds my gears. The people that will comment on a post and immediately jump to telling somebody that they need to go up in dose. There could be absolutely no information in the post other than I've stopped losing weight, or I'm the food noise is starting to come back. It could be one thing. And people immediately in the comments are like, oh, you need to go up in dose. You need to go up in dose. When we don't have enough information. Now, I do love those people who will make a post and put all their information. I'm tracking everything. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm in a calorie deficit and I've been stalled for 3 months, right? Like the people who give the exact information you need to be able, right, to help them, love that. In those cases, immediately jumping to, okay, yeah, you've kind of done everything you can do. You may need to go up in dose. Perfectly fine. But there are some people that have been on a dose for a week and they're like, oh, I'm just starting out on 5, or I'm just starting out on 7.5 and I've got all this food noise and blah, blah, blah. What do I do? And people are like, you need to go up in dose. They've been on a new dose for a week. Like, calm down. It really just grinds my gears. The scammer comments and scammer posts. These really get me. Ones where people are like, oh, I had to come off the medication, so now I have 2 boxes and, just contact me if you want to buy them, right? Or the people who comment and they're like, you would really benefit from joining my group over at blah, 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 Mounjaro, right? Like, it's just, and then they comment it after every single comment, so it just like floods the whole thing. Oh my gosh. So annoying. It really just grinds my gears. People who post inflammatory posts and then never come back and comment on them again. Perfect example. There was one where somebody posted anonymously and said, can I still take my Zepbound even though I just found out I'm pregnant? Along the same lines of making a post and never coming back to it, the people who post get 100 comments of really great, helpful advice. They never come back and comment on that post again. Who knows if they even read it? And then 3 or 4 months later, they're making the exact same post with the exact same issue and getting the exact same advice. That grinds my gears like you would not believe. And unfortunately for those people, I started coughing. Unfortunately for those people, I often remember their names, or I remember their profile picture. I remember something about, what they were wearing, or something jumps out at me. And so I end up going, I'm pretty sure that person posted a couple of months ago. And I'll go and look, and lo and behold, they will have posted a couple of months ago. And then I feel like it's my civic duty to go make a screenshot of that post and go back to their post and say, hey, you just asked this question 3 months ago and we gave you lots of really good advice that you didn't take. Why is that? Why are you back posting it again? What happened? Posts that people make on Facebook support groups where they're talking about how they were just at some family gathering, usually around the holidays, but, anytime really. And one of their family members was horribly cruel to them about being on a GLP1. Now you're probably thinking, Allie, those people need support. Why would a post like that grind your gears? It grinds my gears because as somebody who has a lot of empathy for others, it is infuriating to me the number of people who allow other people to walk all over them for the sake of, well, it's a family member, or, well, that's my best friend, or, well, that's my spouse. The amount of low to non-existent self-esteem that is just running rampant in GLP-1 support groups, 1,000,000% breaks my heart. And it grinds my gears to see these type of posts because more often than not, while those people get the support that they need, and I'm very happy for them, they also get a lot of people telling them that they need to stand up for themselves. And many times I see them trying to defend the family member, the friend, whoever was, negative to them in the comments, especially if it's a spouse. And it just really grinds my gears because people, especially who have been obese or morbidly obese for any length of time, whether you started out that way as a child or as a teen or a young adult or even your entire life, we have been beaten down and put down and made to feel less than in what other people would assume are normal situations, right? And we deserve better. We deserve so much better. You deserve better. Do not let anyone in your life, I don't care what kind of title that they have, whether it's husband, wife, best friend, mother, father, sister, cousin, Auntie Jane, Billy Bob, Joe Shkabob, Uncle Joe, it does not matter to me what their title is. If they are rude to you or mean to you about being on a GLP-1, you better lay the smack down. And if you can't do it, you call me. You call me and let me know. And I'll educate them real fast because that kind of behavior just grinds my gears. If you've gotten this far in the video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe. I'd love to have you along for the ride. Make sure you go check out my other videos where I have helpful tips and tricks that can help you on your health journey. And in the comments below, I want you to tell me what grinds your gears. Let me know down in the comments below. You guys are fantastic. I love your comments. If you're looking for a positive-only support group, I've got you covered. Link is in the description box below. And as always, be kind, rewind.